Hey guys, DC Network here, coming at you with another video. In my last video on this channel, we discussed how at the Annecy Animation Film Festival, Cartoon Network announced that they were going to be making a brand new series within the world of regular show. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll leave a card above to that video. But another series that got a pretty big spotlight put on it was Adventure Time. As we all know, Adventure Time is a very popular series that came out of Cartoon Network in the 2010s. Not only did it have a long run with the original series, but it also got a spin-off show in Distant Lands and a second spin-off series in Fiona and Cake, the latter of which being an adult Adventure Time series on Max. And I guess Cartoon Network recognizes that, hey, we have a series for adults within the world of Adventure Time. What are we going to do for kids? Because at the Annecy Film Festival, Cartoon Network announced Adventure Time Side Quest, a brand new series that is going to be a kid-oriented show within the world of Adventure Time. It's described as being a show that is going to be episodic in nature, meaning that every episode is going to be its own unique story. It's going to be a week-to-week series that you don't need to watch episode 1, 2, and 3 to understand 4, 5, and 6. And apparently it's going to be following the early days of Finn and Jake. So initially when I read this, I interpreted this as, oh, it's going to be a prequel to the original showing like a really young Finn. But apparently what it's actually going to be is that it's going to be a show following Finn and Jake during the early days of Adventure Time. So during the first few seasons, it seems like this is going to be a show that's essentially just showing off some one and off adventures that they had during the early days of Adventure Time that essentially we didn't get to see on screen because they are quote-unquote side quests, hence the name of the series, Adventure Time Side Quests. And apparently some fan favorite characters such as Ice King is going to appear in the series. So essentially what this show is to me is they're making more of like seasons 1 and 2 of Adventure Time, if that makes sense. They're making more of that very early Adventure Time where there was no plot going on, there was no lich, there was no real plot for the show at that point. It was just a show following the weekly adventures of Finn and Jake, and it seems like that's exactly what Adventure Time Side Quest is going to be. And quite frankly, this is a fantastic idea because in my opinion, I've said this before in other videos, but I feel like early Adventure Time, for me at least, early Adventure Time was my favorite time watching the series. I feel like once they got into the more plot heavy stuff, while it was good, while the story was interesting, I felt like it wasn't the same as those initial seasons of Adventure Time. The charm it had, the weekly adventures with Finn and Jake, I really just enjoyed that so much. So it's so great to see that they're going to be going back to this in Adventure Time Side Quest. And I think it's great to see as well that they're not abandoning Adventure Time when it comes to the kids demographic, because obviously the show has grown with its audience, right? They made Distant Lands, now we're having a full-on adult series in Fiona and Cake. It's great to see that they're not forgetting the kids and they're going to make a show for them in Side Quest. Of course, that doesn't mean that we can't watch it as well. This is something that's going to be for everybody. It's not just going to be for kids ages 6 to 11, but obviously it's a show that's probably going to be a bit more lighthearted when you compare it to something like Fiona and Cake. But that's not the only new Adventure Time project that got announced at the Annecy Animation Film Festival. Another project that got announced is Adventure Time the Movie. So I made a little YouTube short on this recently discussing how Adventure Time was supposed to get a movie back in the day, but for whatever reason it just never happened. Well, apparently Cartoon Network wants to right that wrong because now they're working on an Adventure Time movie, and there's really nothing known about what this movie is going to be about other than the fact that Rebecca Sugar, who's the creator of Steven Universe and the co-creator of Over the Garden Wall, Patrick McHale, as well as Adam Muto, are all working on the movie. Again, there's nothing really known about it other than we're getting it. If I had to guess, I'd imagine this is probably a straight to streaming or TV film, but it would be pretty cool to see if this was actually a full-on theatrical release. And I feel like Adventure Time at this point is big enough to warrant that, so we'll have to wait and see what exactly comes of this. But as of right now, all we really know is they're working on an Adventure Time movie and it's going to be coming at some point in the future. As for Side Quest as well, there is no release date tied to either of these two projects. They're just coming at some point. We're probably looking at the absolute earliest late 2025, but more likely 2026 for these two projects. And last but not least, or rather, well, maybe it is least, I don't know, depending on who you are, Adventure Time is getting new friends. BMO approaches each challenge he faces with his unique brand of enthusiasm and curiosity in a quest to learn and fill his database. Apparently the show's being worked on by Adam Muto, and there's an image that has floated around that I'll put up on screen, the promotional image they've released for the series. And look, I am not a fan of preschool stuff. Obviously I don't have a preschooler, I'm not in that market. I will say that I don't have a problem with them making this show just because it's not the only thing being made within the world of Adventure Time, right? It makes sense for them to make this because essentially what you have, if you look at the library of Adventure Time right now when it comes to ongoing series. You have Adventure Time Fiona and Cake, which is meant to be your adult series, right? You have now Adventure Time Side Quest coming, which is going to be your show meant for kids following the early days of Finn and Jake within like season 1, 2, and 3 around that time period. Then you have Adventure Time Heyo Bimo for your preschool audience, for your kids that maybe are a bit too young to watch the original Adventure Time, or a bit too young to watch Side Quest or Distant Lands or Fiona and Cake. So instead you can put them in front of Heyo Bimo and they can enjoy that and get introduced to the world of Adventure Time at a young age. Again, Heyo Bimo is something that's not for me, but I don't have a problem with them making it, and honestly I think it's good to have a variety of series in this world. Since Adventure Time is a huge property for Cartoon Network, it makes sense that they want to be touching all demographics with the franchise. And you know what's funny, actually, real quick before I sign off of this video, I made a video, it's gotta be like 2018 or maybe even 2017, where I was saying why can't Cartoon Network do multiple series for a given property at the same time. I was saying like, why can't we have the Ben 10 reboot alongside a, you know, 5th series within the original continuity that's meant for adults, that's meant for older audiences. And the other comparison I was making is why can't we have Teen Titans Go alongside the original Teen Titans season 6 coming back? Or we're getting a revival for that show. It's kind of funny because Cartoon Network had a bit of a reluctancy to do that, a reluctancy to have multiple series going on for one property at the same time. And now we can see under the leadership of Warner Brothers Discovery, as much as we want to complain about them, as much as they've done bad for Cartoon Network, it's kind of funny to see that they're finally doing that. They're finally making multiple series per property. We're getting a preschool Adventure Time. We're getting a kids Adventure Time. We're getting an adult Adventure Time. It's just really great to see that they've realized that just because you have, like, let's say Teen Titans Go going on right now, just because you have Teen Titans Go meant for kids doesn't mean you can't have an adult Teen Titans. Just because you had the Ben 10 reboot meant for kids doesn't mean you can't have an adult Ben 10. And that goes for every single series that Cartoon Network has. It makes me hopeful for the future and hopeful to see what else comes out of Cartoon Network with some of their more classic IPs, because Adventure Time's getting a whole lot of love right now, and hopefully some other series start to receive that love as well. Anyways, let me know in the comment section below what you guys think about all this. What do you guys think about the fact that we're getting 3 new Adventure Time projects? Which one excites you the most? Is it Side Quest, the movie, or Heyo Bimo? Let me know down below. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to see more content like this from DC Network. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.